Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Yes, it's pronounced Pa, not Fa. These are perhaps the most popular words of Ayurveda. Despite their popularity, very few people actually know what these words mean. In this video, we are going to take a look at the real meaning of Vata, Pitta and Kapha with the help of shlokas from one of the main Ayurvedic textbooks, Ashtanga Hridayam. The Sanskrit channel is an effort to explore a vast variety of topics from original Sanskrit literature. If you wish to support this effort, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us improve the quality, length and number of topics covered in our videos. Do check out all the links in the description below. Getting back into the topic, if you have some interest in Ayurveda, you would definitely have heard of the terms Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Before we attempt to understand these words, the first word we need to understand is Prapancha. Even though the popular meaning of Prapancha is world, its origins are something like this. Pancha is 5, Prapancha is that which is made up of 5 elements. Everything that is manifest in this universe is made up of these 5 elements called Pancha Mahabhutas. These are the elements of earth, water, fire, wind and space. Now this does not mean everything is literally made up of a lump of earth, a mug of water and so on. It is the qualities of these elements that exist in everything that is manifest. The Sanskrit words for these elements are Bhumihi, Apaha, Agnihi, Vayuhu and Akashaha. Bhumihi or earth represents the properties of mass and inertia. Apa or water denotes fluidity. Agni or fire represents heat and warmth. Vayuhu or wind represents instability and movement. And finally, Akashaha or space represents just that, the property of occupying some space. Everything that is manifest is said to have these elements and their properties in various proportions. And of course, human body too is comprised of these elements which interact with each other to perform various bodily functions. And now comes the concept of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. When the earth element in the body, mainly contributed by the solid food that we consume, interacts with the water element in the body, which comes from the water we drink, the properties of both these elements interact to form Kapha. The resultant properties of Kapha are mentioned in the 12th shloka of the first chapter of Ashtanga Hridayam. Snigdhaha, Sheetaha, Gurur Mandaha, Shlakshnaha, Mritsnaha, Sthiraha, Kaphaha. This means the properties of the resultant Kapha element are as follows. It is oily, cold, heavy, viscous, smooth, slimy and immobile. When the water element in the body interacts with the fire element, which is the bodily heat, the properties of both these elements interact to form Pitta. The resultant properties of Pitta are mentioned in the 11th shloka as follows. Pittam sasneha tikshnoshnam laghu visram saram dravam. This means the properties of the resultant Pitta element are it's oily, absorbent, hot, light, odorous, fluid and mobile. And finally, when the air element in the body or Vayuhu interacts with the Akasha or space, the resultant property is Vata. 10th shloka of the first chapter of Ashtanga Hridayam describes Vata properties as Tatra Ruksho Laghu Sheetaha Kharaha Sukshmaha Chalaha Anilaha. This means the properties of Vata are as follows. It is dry, light, cold, rough, subtle and mobile. All these three mixtures have specific tasks to perform in the human body. Ayurveda defines health as a result of the balance among these three mixtures or doshas. Dominance or weakness of any one dosha over the rest leads to an imbalance which manifests itself as disease. What is most interesting to note is that the science of yoga and Ayurveda approach health as wholesomeness and balance. Right from genetic factors starting at birth to various food habits and climatic conditions, various factors affect this balance of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. When the Vata element and its properties are more dominant than Pitta and Kapha, the body is generally cold, dry and light. The body generally feels restless and active. This Vata dominance is not just at the level of the body, its properties can also manifest in the mind as irregular thinking and excessive and fast speech. People with excessive Vata tendencies are light sleepers with excessive dreams. When the Pitta element and its properties are more dominant than Vata and Kapha, the body is generally warm. The people with the Pitta imbalance tend to have oily skin and hair, and also they tend to sweat more than others. They are also prone to hair fall and pronounced aging symptoms. When the Kapha element and its properties are more dominant than Vata and Pitta, the body feels a little more heavy and inert. People with a Kapha imbalance generally put on weight easily and have a sound sleep. Simply put, when one of the properties is more dominant than the others in the body, its attributes manifest themselves in a more prominent way in every walk of life. One can also extrapolate this to determine the properties of a body which has two doshas more dominant than the third. What is important to note is that this Vata, Pitta or Kapha imbalance need not be a fixed thing in one's life. One can make use of various Ayurvedic herbs, lifestyle and yogic practices to bring balance to these elements and keep the body at utmost ease and free from disease. The level of insight these ancient Ayurvedic texts offer into the human mechanism are unparalleled even today. It is time we identify, learn, apply and cherish them instead of insulting them as fringe or pseudosciences only to realize our mistakes after millennia and repackage them. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you wish to support the production of more videos like these, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us improve the quality, length and number of topics covered in our videos. Consider subscribing to the Sanskrit channel where we explore hidden gems in the vast world of diverse Sanskrit literature. See you in the next video. Namaskaram.